Hey, Real Nerds listeners, your favorite host Ryan here to remind you that social media is great. How great is it? There's many ways you can find the Real Nerds on social media. You can download us on iTunes. You can listen to us streaming on Stitcher Radio. You can call us 720-6nerds5. Aw man, our website is so cool. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You want to leave some fan mail? Oh, that's so easy, realnerds@gmail.com. Twitter, we got it, @real_nerds. You can even like us on Facebook. Thank you so much, and hey, enjoy the show.
Hey, this is Andre Gower from the Monster Squad, and you're listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, the only podcast on the internet where James can talk about Matthew McConaughey and it's not gay. I'm your host, Zach Eastman.
It's totally gay.
It's a little bit gay.
Yeah, it's pretty gay. But you know what? I love that you are such a fan and so committed to him that you'll defend him to the death.
It's not like that's... Mud was real good.
Mud was really good, I know.
That's
but
all I'm
there
saying.
are other movies out there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, like Dazed and Confused and Sahara.
Sahara.
Are you saying it's bad to be a Matthew McConaughey fan?
It's not. I'm just saying his love of it
You know,
is
there
just so
used to be
strange
a-
and foreign to me. Like 5 years ago, I never met anybody who would openly love Matthew McConaughey.
There was a stigma during the failure to launch days that true believers...
saw the light.
which I was not one of, by the
Yeah.
way.
That's where he saw the light. I mean, he got he made a few like floppy movies, and then he like came back and just started being more serious about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
So I like it.
Yeah.
It's a nice comeback story, like Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke got a little silly for a little bit.
It's just paycheck movies. You just want to be comcomfortable.
Yeah,
at
sometimes
home.
sometimes you just want to fart in a house comfortably.
No, Ben Affleck was in Paycheck.
Bad flick.
Cool.
So
what are we doing?
Well, I think you could hear that we have some guests with us today. Please welcome to the podcast Matt Willix and Brian Richards.
Thank you. No
Hi, guys.
applause? Okay.
How you doing?
This is not a
they're-
live show.
Thank you.
They're applauding in their hearts. You can hear it through the
We're
internet.
sharing a mic like we did in our sailor days.
It's pretty grand.
Cool.
Are we allowed to cuss on this podcast?
Yeah, it's
we're
the
allowed to
internet.
we're allowed to
Oh,
cuss.
it's the internet. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, it's the internet.
My mom, my mom listened to one once, and then she never needed to listen to another one.
Oh,
so
okay.
we're fine.
Yeah.
No, we're not on FM.
We're not on
We're not
FM.
This is not going out over the air.
Brian's out. I
gonna go
do
take
want
a
to say
dump.
briefly, Brad and Brian and I had a most magical night.
Whoa.
Like 3 weeks ago? 4
Oh,
weeks ago?
yeah.
At the best night ever had at Casa Bonita for Cougar Littlefield's birthday.
It was magical.
It was
Nice.
amazing. It was the best Casa Bonita trip ever.
Why? What happened?
No, everything happened, James. Like we did everything. We did the Old West photo. We wanted a puppet show, so we just took but they weren't doing any puppet, so we just took a picture in front of the puppet theater.
We saw a gunfight.
We saw a gunfight. We
We were attacked by a gorilla.
We were attacked by a gorilla. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it was amazing.
I've never
Yeah.
been to Casa Bonita.
Oh,
So
back.
I went to Casa Bonita for Christmas Eve.
Tell me more about it.
To celebrate Christmas. And the reason is what we discovered. It's my sister-in-law, her family discovered this, that Christmas Eve is when all of the good divers go on vacation. They take that day off.
So this is
so the
their
show-
AM crowd.
Yeah.
So
It's
everyone else just kind of jumps.
yeah,
hopes
it's all the newbies. Like
These are people with death wishes.
it's my big show. It's the guys. It's the guys whose families don't care enough about them to celebrate Christmas Eve with them. And
Maybe if I jump in this water, I'll kill myself.
right.
And you know
Son?
what? Sounds like a plan.
Son, the family tradition is looking at shitty divers.
Look at it! Look at it!
Yeah. So that's Christmas now.
Oh, okay.
Because she's married into the family, so I'm fucked.
Oh gosh, it's settled. I got to go to this place now.
Did you get stuck in the cave? I get really claustrophobic in the cave.
I was thinking like I'm a much bigger dude than I was
me
when
too.
I was 12. But no, I didn't get stuck. Nothing jumped out. There was actually somebody in the cave who was like trying to go the wrong way out. Like they were trying to exit the entrance. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Were they like freaking out?
No,
like,
they were being
don't
very.
keep going.
No,
you don't want to know what's around the next corner.
She was being very rude. She was like, "Excuse me."
Oh my god!
Excuse me, and I was like, "You're going the wrong way."
Yeah.
For those
This
of,
cave
for those
leads
who
to
don't,
impatience.
Live in Colorado. Can you explain Black Bart's Cave? I've heard about it, but
I can't believe you've never been to Casa Bonita.
I know it's
like
a
especially
shame.
in a post South Park world.
I know it's so weird.
If Casa Bonita is like the Disney World of restaurants in Colorado,
Right.
That's
Of like Mexican, right? Like it's
Yeah, of
if
Mexican.
you took
and most people know it from the South Park episode, but like explain Black Bart's Cave. It's like a little ride or something like
no,
that.
it's like a hole in the wall that they painted black and put a
Really?
skull in, and you crawl through it.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's basically like actual rocks too. I mean, like you could
Yeah.
legitimately break a limb. You slit in Bart's cave.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's not even like
It's for
Disney.
people with
It's
a
like
death
if
wish.
it's like if Six Flags and like an On the Border had a baby, and that baby had never gone to like chef school
It's a
because
really
the food
shitty on
is
the border.
fucking horrible.
Oh gosh.
It wasn't. As,
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It's
as bad.
pretty bad.
It wasn't
You go,
that bad.
you get the nachos because they're the cheapest thing on the menu, and then you eat sopapillas the whole night.
You can't
But are
just get
these
nachos.
Christmas nachos we're talking about?
Christmas nachos,
Let me tell
James.
you, on Christmas Eve, you get your food real quick, and you get sopapillas constantly. You don't have to wait. You don't even have to put up the fucking flag for sopapillas. They just keep bringing them because you're the only people there. Not that it matters, because even when it's that quiet, you still can't hear the performances through the shitty ass speakers that they have in that building. Oh,
Gosh. Well, anyway.
what do we
For those-
do on this podcast?
Yeah, what do we do? We talk about Casa Bonita? No. We go out and review movies. This week we saw Tusk.
Tusk.
And what we'll do is we'll later on in the show we'll play a trailer and then we'll let you know what we thought of the movie, and it'll be spoiler filled. And for this film, just go ahead and probably skip it until you see it, or just
Yeah.
listen. You know,
There are
skip
plenty
it-
of
skip
spoilers
it
in this movie.
Yeah, skip it until you see it, and then listen to the review afterwards, because it's gonna get all ugly in here. But
What else are we talking
also
about?
we also review other movies that we've watched. We also talk about DVDs and Blu-rays, upcoming box office, real news. We unspool that a little bit, and sometimes we get some fan mail. I don't know. Do we have any of the fan mail this week?
I don't think so. Nope.
Okay, right on. Moving on. See, it works pretty fast on this podcast.
One segment down.
Yeah. Many to go.
That was easy.
All right, let's. Why don't we unspool some real news then, gentlemen?
Okay.
It's real news.
Sorry, I literally had to unspool it this week.
Yeah.
All right.
We were dealing with an old film print here.
Not a whole lot this week.
Not a whole lot.
No. Just a couple of things. They announced that they are going to release a Deadpool movie in the fall or winter of 2016, as well as that Doctor Strange is going to be in the spring of 2016. So the year after Avengers 2 is going to be chock full of movies that have nothing to do with further Avengers films, or at least not in a traditional sense. I'm sure that Doctor Strange is in Avengers 3, but it's pretty interesting. Maybe paints a picture that there are going to be some cast changes when we move into a further Avengers movie, and that maybe somebody gets shot in the head and dies. That would be interesting.
Thinking Cap.
Didn't Iron Man?
Well,
drop
technically, Captain America is that year too. So, but yeah, just excited. It's cool to see that they're going to start infusing that whole universe with some new characters that might be very different than the rest. Deadpool is probably going to be completely standalone.
Right.
Just because that it's so weird.
Did you see the screen test that they did online? That they released online? That they
Oh,
leaked?
yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, shit.
I don't
is
even-
bananas.
I don't even like Deadpool, but that was a really badass sequence.
That was so funny. I love when he's showing him drawing that he did in crayon.
Yeah,
Of him slicing his head off.
it's pretty great.
It's fucking badass.
And then the only other thing really this week was, I'm only bringing this up because I think it's interesting. There really wasn't much news this week. Judd Apatow is going to make another show. I don't know if you guys are really big Freaks and Geeks fans, but
Love it.
yeah, Freaks and Geeks to
Absolutely.
me is one of the best shows in the last 15 years probably.
It's a seminal show. For
Oh yeah.
anybody who loves those Judd Apatow movies.
Well, it's just, oh man, there are things I really like Judd Apatow, but he has still never written anything as good as the scene when it's a whole episode about Bill and his mom, and it's just a tough episode. You kind of learn like how hard his life is, and he comes home and just sort of sits down in front of the TV and turns the TV on,
The
and
TV's
after a
his
minute or
friend.
two, just starts to laugh, and like that escapism is such an amazing picture of like what it's like to be a kid, and especially what that pop culture is like when you're a kid.
Or what Zach Eastman was like growing up.
Exactly. So anyway, he's making another TV show.
No, Mom, I don't want to go outside.
I
They sound like that.
He's making another show called Love, which is going to be on Netflix. So and starring Gillian Jacobs from Community. So
Yay.
that'll be cool.
I want to see that.
yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Did they say what it's about?
No, not really. I mean, it's
Oh, okay.
about some character who
Who's in
I'm
love.
sure is Gillian Jacobs. Yeah.
Or loved?
Yeah,
or
probably.
loving?
Somebody loves someone
Love
sometime.
and tender.
Anyway,
Or that's
unless
Love
there's
Me
something I
Tender.
missed. Did I miss something? No, I didn't miss anything.
No, I don't think
That's
you
news.
missed anything. Yeah, that's news.
Bam.
Right on. That was quick and easy.
Yep.
Do we want to jump into some DVD
Don
releases?
Pardo died.
Don Pardo, that's right. Don Pardo died. The great towering voice of SNL. I mean, like,
Oh, that's
how many
right.
people can say like they were famous for just their voice, like just in terms of
Don
like,
LaFontaine.
Don LaFontaine. He's one of them. Mel Blanc is another one. Like their voices, like they were part of a generation. Like you grew up on Don Pardo in a lot of ways, and so to see him pass is like it's part of that generation of that old time radio culture that's gone, where the voice was very important to performance. Like there was a great thing that he did on the in the first season of SNL. It's a sketch with him and Lorne Michaels, and Don Pardo's just doing the voiceover, but Lorne Michaels is trying to convince the Beatles to come on the air, and he persuades them that he'll pay them $300. That's whatever you want to do with the split with Ringo. That's up to you. And Don Pardo's just like, send your money too. And he just goes into that bit. And it's just so wonderful to like listen to him, get into the spirit of that performance and not just be the announcer. That could have just been a pre-recorded bit. He was an active part of that show.
Yeah.
So to see him pass, it's the death of a generation.
Yeah.
And apparently, Daryl Hammond's going to succeed him.
Yeah.
That's
he's the
awesome.
new announcer. Yeah.
That's awesome. That'll be
Yeah.
fine. I can work with that. It's not that it matters to me. Like I'm not working for SNL.
Is SNL still on TV?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
I don't know who's on it, but
That wasn't a legitimate question. That was
That was a
James trying to
there was. I thought
express his
I thought he was asking.
distaste for the show, I guess.
I'm just curious. I was just curious.
Is the president still black? Yes.
Is he?
Yeah.
Isn't he also half white? What are we doing next?
I don't know.
Okay.
We're doing DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Cool.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
This is a big week for horror movies. There's a complete Halloween collection this week, which looks, it looks cool to me, but I don't really
Yeah, that's the
care much about
complete
horror
set
movies.
that Ryan and I have been gushing about. That has
Oh,
the
yeah?
Halloween 6 producer's cut.
Ooh.
Oh.
The box
Yeah.
set is pretty badass looking. I really like the first Halloween, but I haven't seen the whole thing.
You have it. You need to go through. Just I would recommend buying it,
Yeah.
and then if you don't like it, just go ahead and resell it.
And then just give it to you? Is that where you're going?
No.
Yeah.
No, although that would be a very nice Christmas present. I'm just saying.
It ain't Christmas yet, friend.
We're going to Casa Bonita.
Yeah.
So no, it's you just go through the whole series, but the producer's cut of Halloween 6 is vastly different from the original theatrical cut.
Does it have stuff like the TV edit of Halloween 2? Or
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it has all those. It has the rare NBC 1979 version of Halloween from the first one for TV with additional scenes, including scenes of young Michael at the age of 6 in the sanitarium, and also you got a little bit of flashbacks with Dr. Loomis going like, "I'm telling you, he's evil, boo," and doing the thing he does so well. Oh gosh, what else? A pointless scene where Laurie and Linda.
Jack.
No, it's Paul.
Paul.
Where Laurie and Linda
Alex.
are talking, and it's whatever. That took a long time to explain something stupid.
I wasn't helping.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Cool.
Yeah.
There is also a complete collection of the Saw films coming out this week.
Nice.
Which looks like a lot of Saw films.
Yeah.
For like $25, I think.
Yeah. It did. I already closed the window, but it looked like it was
Oh,
it was
dang it.
reasonable.
Wanted to see it.
Yeah. It doesn't look like it doesn't look like a badass super case. It just looks like a big box set.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I want them to. They had a really cool collection for the first 3 of them that I wanted them to like adapt or something like that. Like
Cool.
you could like have like buy little separate sleeves or something.
Neighbors, which we saw that this year, right? Yeah, I remember seeing that movie. Brad, did we like that movie?
Most of us did.
Yeah, I think it was like funny, but it wasn't like see it twice funny, if I remember right.
It was.
I
thought
enjoyed
I liked it.
Yeah, like I remember enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess
Zac Efron's in it.
I guess I don't remember why I enjoyed it. So that probably means I should buy it on Blu-ray and watch it again.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Did you see me and Orson Welles? Shit, man.
Yeah.
The movie just gives all my married friends excuses to be like, no, it's okay to stay in. Be like, no, fuck you.
Come have fun with me, goddammit. The Exorcist is getting a complete anthology release this week.
Yay. Well, not really. No, have you seen the other sequels to The Exorcist, Willix?
No. Isn't there like a director's cut of Exorcist 3 or something that's supposed to be better than the studio cut? Or
But that's like the comparison of the Halloween 6 producer's cut, So
No, I thought 3 was supposed to be good on its own. Like 2 is supposed to be like horrible.
yeah, because it has Linda Blair again, and it doesn't make sense why.
Right, because the director hated the original, so like he just wanted to make whatever he wanted.
Who's the
I don't
director?
remember his name.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, I thought 3 was supposed to be. Hey, go check it out. It's better than the second one. I don't know.
That was called the Exorcist 3: The Heretic.
No, 2 is The Heretic. Then there's just Exorcist 3. Then there's Exorcist the Beginning and Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist.
Dominion is awesome. I also like Exorcist the Beginning.
Are they both prequels? Which one's a
they're
prequel
just-
to
they're
the
just-
other?
You know what? They're just entertaining. Like they don't have to supersede the first Exorcist. They're just decent horror movies.
I'm not
They're
just-
just decent fun watches.
I want to understand the canon. So, does Exorcist the Beginning come before Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist, or is the
They're
beginning?
two alternate. That is literally alternate cuts in that were released in theaters. They released Exorcist the Beginning first, and then in an independent release on Warner Independent before that folded, they released Dominion, a prequel to The Exorcist.
So they're
I think
both
that-
the same movie.
I think that's what I was trying to.
It's
yeah.
kind of the same movie.
Okay, but it's just a different edit.
Different edits and
it's
different
a-
scenes
and-
because they
and it's
added
a-
scenes for The Exorcist the Beginning.
And it's
But
supposed
like
to be
the
sorry.
actors are the same actors.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not like one is a remake of the other.
But it's like the same footage, and they reworked it. Right?
Yeah, they
Okay.
reworked it. So
And it's supposed to be better. The second version is supposed to be better. right?
Dominion is way better.
Okay.
In terms of story, in terms of being a faithful homage to Exorcist.
Thank you for letting me dangle earlier.
Yeah, not a problem. What?
Alrighty, we also have The Signal, which has Lawrence Fishburne in it. We've got Attack on Titan Part 2, which is an anime. We've got a 25th anniversary edition of Ghost in the Shell. Brad, are you a big Ghost in the Shell fan? Are you going to be picking this up?
It's a good movie. I won't be getting it, but
Okay, cool. Something called Rover with Guy Pearce. They are releasing Roman Polanski's The Tragedy of Macbeth, if you want to rape kids. And Season 3 of Key and Peele. that's coming out this week. And then a movie called Stage Fright, which I don't know if this is a Scream Factory release. It kind of looks like one just based on the cover, but it doesn't.
Stage Fright, is that the one? Oh my gosh, I think that's the horror film about the kid who's obsessed with movies or something like that. He like kills
Blue
people
Underground.
in the theater.
I don't think that's.
No, I don't think it is. Well,
Sure?
I'm not sure if Blue Underground is. I'm not sure if Blue Underground
I
is
don't
like
think
the
it's
original
Scream Factory.
producer, but
Sure? Let
the
me
cover
see.
just looks like a Scream Factory release. But maybe it's somebody ripping it off. Brett, if Ryan were here, he would be able to tell us, but he's not because he had a
No,
baby.
but there is a movie that I was talking about that is on Shout Factory. I thought that was what they were releasing.
This looks interesting because this looks like a whole bunch of kids get their heads stuck in a fish tank, which I don't think that's terribly horrifying. And then a complete box set collector's edition thing of all the seasons of How I Met Your Mother, if you want a whole collection of that.
I like How I Met Your Mother, so yeah.
I do too, and it's a cool looking box set. And I don't own any of them, but I don't know that I'm going to run out and the whole thing's on Netflix, so it's kind of hard for me to justify doing
DVDs are going to be
that.
a lost commodity soon.
Is it in a
Yeah.
pineapple?
No, there's a pineapple on the front. So there's a
okay.
pineapple. There's a
goat?
a French horn. No, there's no goat. There's a umbrella and something else.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wanted there to be
But
the
it looks
goat.
like some kind. It looks like a box set of the Lord of the Rings. Like it's fancy. It's dark colored and there's like gold filigree all over it. It's I don't understand what it has to do.
They're trying
with.
to trick people.
Yeah.
Is this Lord of the Rings?
I got all 9 seasons of the Lord of the Rings. How I Met Your Frodo. Yeah. Nope. Anyway, that's Blu-rays.
Surtap purposes.
Uh,
So that's it for DVDs and
That's it.
Blu-rays?
That's it.
All right, cool. Let's do in some box office numbers.
Okay.
This is the box office stats.
Tired. It's been a long week from work.
No Good Deed came in at number 1.
No good deed.
Barely beating out Dolphin Tale 2. September's the fucking worst month for movies.
You know,
January
some
was
of
more
us are
interesting.
big Harry Connick Jr. fans. So
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I did see the first one.
Ugh. The movie we saw, Let's Be Cops, is at number 5 at $4.3 million, which is probably okay for a movie that cost them like $26 to make.
Can I ask how Robert Rodriguez is doing?
Okay.
I'd love to know.
Hold on. I need to scroll down farther.
Shit. That poor man.
Holy shit. I haven't found it yet. Wait.
Seems like it's gone.
Hold on. Control F. Okay, here it is. Frank Miller's Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, at number 32 for the week.
Wow.
It made $189,000 last week. Sorry,
Gentlemen,
guys.
thoughts?
It got beat. Whoa! It got beat out by Hercules, which released in July. It got beat out by Maleficent, which released in what?
May.
Yeah.
June. No,
It's in
June.
its 16th week, Maleficent. You had to bring it up.
Yeah, I
You
just
had to
wanted to
bring it
know.
up.
And now I just feel bad for Machete Kills in Space.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Well,
The
anyway.
trailer might be all you'll ever see of that.
Yeah, I have that weird feeling in my gut. Shoot.
It got... Atlas Shrugged Part 3, Who is John Galt, made 4 times as much money as Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. Now I'm just being mean.
Wow.
This is horrible.
How
we should
much?
move on. 4 times. It made almost $500,000 this week.
That figures. There's a crowd for that.
it didn't
Yeah.
seem like they did much marketing for A Dame to Kill For, though.
Yeah, they didn't.
I just didn't
Really?
see.
There was like a trailer online. That was it. There was no
Yeah.
posters. I didn't see any posters.
Yeah.
Did you see a poster?
Seems like they should have released that movie like at least a year or 2 years after they
they should have
the
released
first
it
one.
like 8 years ago.
They should have made that movie back when Robert Rodriguez was interested in making movies.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Did you see the trailer for, or not the trailer, the pilot for From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah, I've seen the first like 3 or 4 episodes.
I
it
like the
good?
pilot. I like the pilot. I haven't watched anything else further, but I liked how they readapted the first scene of the movie.
It's fun. It's like, you know how the movie's kind of serious and silly at the same time?
Yeah.
That's how the show is.
It's the same thing.
It's pretty cool.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's entertaining. It's not like blow your socks off, but it's
Yeah.
a good.
But they remake the Gecko Brothers scene in the
Yeah, and the guy who's playing Quentin Tarantino's role is kind of weird.
He's too handsome.
Yeah.
He's too handsome to play like a creepy Tarantino kind of role.
That was kind of the whole point.
Which inevitably means that the other guy is not handsome enough to play George Clooney.
Oh, he's pretty handsome, but he looks a little more. He looks like he has a little bit of Latin flair to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Delicate phrase.
Delicate phrase. Yeah. Delicate phrasing.
Not like me.
He has delicate phrasing.
Not like me earlier.
Cool. What's next?
I think we're going to go into comic book corner. Does anybody have a comic book they'd like to recommend?
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
What do you guys read? Do you guys read comics?
Yes, absolutely.
Tell me about your favorite comic.
Jeez. I'm reading Alan Moore's Swamp Thing right now.
Cool.
Which I love.
I've never read it. It's on my list of shame. I keep meaning to.
It's really good. I just finished the Lock and Key series. Which is fucking amazing.
Thank you.
I
wrote it.
You wrote it?
No, I don't know why I said
you'd have a
thank
better
you.
Apartment.
Like I was really yeah.
With more vases.
Yeah. And I also love I reread Y the Last Man.
Yeah.
Like once a year.
Very
I
cool.
love Batman, so
awesome.
Talk about seeing Joe Hill at Comic-Con
Oh my God.
year, and like his son. Like this is one of my favorite stories we got from going to Comic-Con.
Okay, so we went to the Lock and Key panel, which had the artist, I forget, his name escapes me, Gabriel Rodriguez, and Joe Hill. They were just talking about Lock and Key, and Joe Hill looks so much like his dad, who's Stephen King. It's scary. But they were talking about, are you talking about when he was talking about the TV show?
No.
Or his kid.
His kid.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were in Artist Alley, and Joe Hill was talking to Bruce Timm.
Yeah.
And his kid, Joe Hill's kid, was like behind the booth as well, but he was angry about something, and he was like marching back and forth in a short line, steaming just about something. Like, maybe I don't want to be here, Dad. And I was like, that is the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, that's Stephen King's blood right there, and he is pissed.
Oh, that's pretty good. Was he awesome?
Yeah.
He
Except
really cool.
except that he said he liked the pilot for Lock and Key. I don't know if you've seen the pilot.
Have you seen it?
I've seen.
I can't find it anywhere.
I've seen the
I tried to
trailer
steal it.
and I've seen stills, and just that alone is like the art direction is just not up to snuff at
In
all.
comparison.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of the casting, and I was interested. I was really interested to see what they could do.
I do want to see the pilot. I didn't see. I don't know if it'd be cool to see the actors see what they could do with it. I don't think any of them looked like the like. I wanted the characters to look more like they did in the book, but whatever.
Yeah, and there was like picky stuff too.
Yeah,
the
just
woman in the well
nitpicking.
didn't have yellow eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and she just didn't. She does not look quite creepy enough, but also
Right.
because when you have to create a character, when you have to cast a character who has to be able to portray a man for multiple seasons of a show,
Right.
or like cast a woman with a man, like there's not an easy way to do that. I would imagine. Though they just did it with Peter Pan, so that there's one way. Just go get Allison Williams.
So you're wrong.
Yeah. So fuck me. All right. The shame of it is that like Fox, when they decided not to pick it up, had to like really just pour salt in the wound, and their official statement was, "We watched it and we thought this was too good to be a show." Which is just like, like what they were saying was, we don't think it would be a series. It could be like a mini series, but it's 2014. Nobody sees mini series anymore. But it was just like a shitty way to say like, oh, we're not picking this up because it's too damn good.
But that's what Netflix is doing with the Marvel shows.
Yeah,
those are going to be miniseries.
I think you could make an awesome miniseries. I don't really give a damn if you just make Lock and Key. I will run to it. That's all I want. I don't care if anybody else watches it. As long as they keep making it. But yeah, it was too bad. It was really too bad.
Well, yeah, with Fox too, it's like this looks too good. This is going to cost more money.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's true too.
Yeah.
Fox likes to rush.
Yeah, absolutely, and then not air the pilot.
or air the first episodes out of order.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a roundabout way of saying that all of these books, Lock and Key, Why the Last Man, Sandman, or Swamp Thing, you should go to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics and check them out. They are going to be able to get you the trades there for 20% off. Plus, if you open a hold slot and start following some of the, monthly issues that they have there as well, you can get those at a discount. Go talk to Andrew. He will hook you up.
Andrew will give you the hookup. He gives up the hookups. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It is the best comic store in Denver, as far as I'm concerned. So, and as far as this show is concerned, what are we doing next?
I think we're going to be talking about what we've been watching lately.
Cool.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
I'm going to go ahead and start with Brad. Brad, what did you watch this week?
I started with Death Warrant because I'm making a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, so...
That's right, Jean-Claude Van Damme's Damn Van.
Put one on Netflix, and Death Warrant. It's ridiculous, of course. Jean-Claude dispatches with the Sandman killer, and then he has to go solve another murder of his friend, who was an undercover agent in prison, I guess.
Was he undercover in prison, or was he an undercover agent who ended up in prison?
Or was he both?
Maybe, I don't know. All I know, he was in there, and I assume it was for some kind of mission, and then he gets murdered, so it's up to Jean-Claude to figure out why he was murdered.
Because he was in prison. End of movie.
Yeah, that's what happens in prison. You get murdered. No. Long story short, the prison is murdering all the inmates so they can use their organs and sell them to hospitals and make money that way.
Oh, because the prison is in, like, Romania?
No, the prison's in America.
What scandal?
Yep.
Sorry.
That would never happen here, right?
No, not at
No,
all.
Nobody's
getting murdered in prisons.
No.
And having their body parts recycled for the elite, wealthy elite.
Who are these rich people?
It's happening right now,
people?
and you're blind to it, James.
Who are these rich
Soylent
people
Green is
sitting around
people,
like,
James.
Who are these rich people sitting around like, I want to just eat really poor criminals?
No, they're not eating them.
I need a new
the
hobby.
Mayor's wife or whatever had cancer or something, and they
Oh,
replaced
and then
her
they
organ
like replace her organ. Oh,
with
okay,
some
that
prisoner's
sounds
organ.
I need
reasonable.
Because who gives a shit about prisoners, right? No matter what they did. The
Why
weird
don't we
thing is,
do-
though, like, this prison is the most posh prison. There's this one character called the Priest, and you can just walk into, he's got 3 cells all linked together, and he's got cloth backdrops and transvestites, I think, that hang out with him, and he's the one to go to for information and access, and halfway through, shocker, the Sandman is alive, and he gets put in prison because no one else there can assassinate Jean-Claude. So they put the Sandman in, which I don't know where he was hiding up until this point. And then he tells everybody in the prison that Jean-Claude is a cop. And if there's one thing even the good prisoners hate, it's cops. So
Right.
it's at that point, it's a race to the outside as Jean-Claude runs through the prison to get away from everybody until he gets to the boiler room. And then he has to fight in the boiler room, Sandman in the boiler room.
Then does Sandman get killed, and then like they take his lungs and they put it in the president's wife, and then she gets possessed by the Sandman?
The Sandman gets kicked into a furnace, and then just when you think the movie's over, he jumps out of the furnace and just dusts himself off, and then he gets kicked in the face, and his head falls back on a screw.
What?
Like a small screw?
Wait a minute.
It's a gigantic,
You're shitting me.
6-inch industrial bolt screw.
I thought it was like a tiny one. That
Yeah,
would have been hilarious.
that would have been hilarious. But no, it was. And then he's still not dead. He says something like, "I cannot be killed," and then Jean-Claude just walks over and then twists his face, and I guess the bolt finds the right spot in his brain to take him down.
It's called the Jean-Claude
But it's
Van
like,
Damme
holy
blow.
shit, you were fine just kicking him in the furnace.
Yeah.
Like that was a perfectly acceptable ending to that.
Right.
But some producer on set was like, meh. Let's just go take it a little further.
I mean, let's keep
twice.
this, but let's do something else.
Yeah. I'm thinking kick him and have him just kind of stumble back and have his skull fractured on this industrial bolt. And then they're like, okay, that's cool. We can add that, I guess. And then, no. One more thing. Have Jean-Claude come over, because he's still not dead, and then twist his head. Slightly. And that'll do it. Like, are you sure we're going to do
It's
this?
like a combination lock.
Yeah.
At that point, I wouldn't trust it. Like, the credits would roll, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
that motherfucker's coming back for the sequel.
There's a Death Warrant 2. He should be back.
Yeah.
There's no reason he wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly. After the credits, he just wakes up and is like, oh, I gotta... If it were a nail, I could pull it out in one tug, but I have to twist it 40 times to get it out of the back of my head.
Yeah. And then the other thing I watched was Beverly Hills Cop.
The remake show
What?
movie
What?
thing?
No, the
No, that's
original
dead.
Eddie Murphy.
Okay, good. Oh, God.
1984, I think.
Yeah.
Settle down, James. Don't
Don't
bring up scary subjects.
It's the first time I'd seen it,
Oh, wow.
and it's considered this classic comedy.
God damn it. You're gonna Crocodile Dundee this motherfucker.
No.
I mean, it's not a terrible movie, but I just didn't see the appeal.
It's
Eddie
funny
Murphy's
as
the
fuck.
appeal.
What?
Eddie Murphy goes in and he's like,
There's like
I brought lunch for somebody, and he pretends like he's somebody else, or he's like snarky to a receptionist, or
Yeah.
like,
yeah, once in a while, but like there's one or two exchanges where he says something like has some
Banana in the tailpipe, man. Banana in the tailpipe.
yeah, and like because of Clerks the animated series, like that was spoiled for me. Like I knew what was
yeah,
Yeah.
gonna happen there, but and it's funny how he would send food to the cops tracking him down, but I don't know. I just didn't think any of it was all that interesting. And then the whole like the real plot of the movie isn't that compelling.
No.
Sorry.
Watch the second one.
It's a showcase
Yeah,
for
well-
Eddie Murphy.
Is the first one the one that ends with like the three of them walking in like some purple smoke
No.
in like a kids ride or some shit? Okay, I'm being told no.
No.
All right,
Judges?
that's fair. Yeah.
No.
Just shut up.
Go away.
Cool. You gonna watch the next one? Why
if
are you
Netflix
going?
gets it.
Why are you going back to like old '80s movies? That
It's 30th anniversary.
Netflix, man.
oh, okay.
It tells me what I should watch, and I'm like,
It's
oh yeah, I haven't
suggested
seen that
based
one.
off of watching
So
Masters
far-
of Sex you might like.
So far, it's told you to watch both Crocodile Dundee movies and Beverly Hills Cop, and you haven't liked
Death
any
Warrant.
of them. And Death Warrant.
Both
Yeah.
of them?
Yeah,
Both Crocodile Dundees.
yeah.
Both Crocodile
Listen to last week's
Yeah.
show.
Okay.
It was pretty interesting. I
Wow.
was heartbroken.
Yeah.
The first one's fine.
I love the I
what
love
it
I love
is.
both of them. They are one film to me.
The first one was nominated for an Oscar for writing.
I don't understand that. I can't
That's
defend
absurd.
that at all.
See,
Don't put me out on a limb here.
he doesn't understand what a bidet is because he's from the desert of Australia.
But
So he washes his boot.
And that's fucking funny.
This is comedic genius.
you know it.
We need to fill 5 more minutes of this movie. What can we do? What would be
Eddie
so
Murphy, Banana in the
unusual to?
Tailpipe?
All right,
Yeah.
we've got the hotel room for another couple hours. We need to shoot some kind of scene in here. Look around for things he might not understand. something funny. The bathroom. Go to the bathroom.
I know. A bidet.
What could he do in the bidet? Does
I
he
don't know.
Does he pee in it like a urinal?
No,
and
no,
then it
no,
sprays
no.
the pee back up.
Well, yes.
No, that's
No,
gross.
no,
That's gross. It's
no,
the 80s,
no,
man.
No. Yes, of course. We have to have taste here.
What if he washes something like his laundry? His boots.
His boots. That's it. That's
he
it.
could
Clever.
clean his
Clever.
boots. This is genius. Get the camera.
Get the camera. Just roll it. Paul, action.
Oh no, I was playing Paul.
Oh, you were.
Brad, what else
I'm
did
playing
you
the
watch
director.
this week?
What else did I watch?
Crocodile Dundee,
They won an
Los
Oscar.
Angeles.
Oh no, he had seen that one in theaters.
Oh,
Before I'd even seen those 2
Wow.
movies.
Oh.
Yeah.
fun.
I guess the last thing I saw was my film, The Diary of Anya Frank, play at the Esquire.
Oh, very cool.
And then win
Did
an
you win
award.
some awards? You won some awards.
I did
didn't
win
you?
an award,
Tell
yes.
everybody about your award.
We won the best use of the line of dialogue in the 48-hour contest.
Dude, that's cool. That's
Yes.
really cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there a place somewhere, perhaps on our site, where they can see this film?
Yeah, maybe by the time this airs, it'll be on realnerdspodcast.com, but you can always go to nebdecisions.com.
Awesome.
Or Facebook. It's on there.
Awesome.
Um,
If you search for The Diary of Anya Frank, will you find it?
That's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
It's a little bittersweet because I had this amazing cast that did all this acting 3 times in each take,
Yeah.
40 times total, whole scenes, and I don't act, but I filled in for that line, and then that's what we got awarded for.
And you won.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you got to do next year. Is when you like bring together your cast, be like, all right, guys. Last year I won us an award all by myself. So if you guys would just step up for once.
Look, I know you've been through all these acting classes, but just watch me. Just watch this face.
I know you guys think you try.
This is an award-winning
but
performance.
clearly, raw talent is more than
Did you
what
see that piece of paper on my wall? Did you see it?
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this right here.
Look at it.
2014.
Remember the year,
I didn't
bitch.
pay to
Best
shellac this
line
for nothing.
of dialogue
Ever.
ever. Acting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The line was, "It was the Nazis."
Cool.
Cool,
Good job.
right on.
That's it for me.
Matt Willix, what
Yes.
have you watched this week?
Well, I'm going to sort of piggyback on Beverly Hills Cop, but Brian and I had a movie night over the summer where we watched every cool thing from 1984.
That's
So-
right, the famous Matt
Ooh.
Willix Summer of Cinema.
Summer of Cinema. That's
Yes.
right. Anyway, we just saw. We went to Ghostbusters twice in the theater.
Twice.
That was awesome.
Cool.
We just watched Curtains,
Yeah.
Canadian horror movie, which has this really famous like ice skating kill scene.
Is it about killer?
Curtains?
Curtains?
No, you
You'd
want
think.
it to be.
Yeah, that would have been pretty awesome.
Actually, it was kind of a like if you.
Look at these window patterns. They're there to die for.
And
Not
tremble.
since just when you thought it was safe to go near the tapestry.
But curtains. The director ended up not getting credited, and the guy who
Yeah.
plays the director in the movie got credited as the director.
right, the character.
The character.
The character
Yeah.
got credits. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a nightmare hearing
and
about the
produ-
production.
and the producer like recut it because he was doing this kind of very kind of artsy horror film, and he's like, "I just want a slasher,
Right.
Eh?" Because he's Canadian.
I thought that was
I'm
because he was
sorry.
81 years old.
I don't know why you kids. But it's
Get your movie off my lawn.
it's a great one to watch, like with people making fun of it. And
Oh, okay, cool.
there's a really creepy like mask in it. And
Yeah,
it was pretty
a
cool.
doll. There's
Yeah.
always a freaking creepy doll.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just bought Evolution. I didn't watch it yet. You guys
Evolution,
remember
the
Evolution?
comedy.
With David Duchovny?
yeah.
The Ghostbusters 3 script. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what
I
they
did
turned
not
it
know
into. But I haven't watched it yet. So.
Have you never seen it?
I saw it in theater, and
Oh,
I don't
okay, yeah.
remember anything about it.
I don't remember this.
I remember
one.
Sean William Scott being Sean William Scott. And that's
Yeah.
That's about right.
I'm not entirely sure that I can separate Evolution and Eight-Legged Freaks in my head.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
pretty fair.
Well, I was like 8 when they came out, so
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
they collide.
They mesh.
Yeah. Cool.
I just rewatched all the Matrix movies.
What do you think of 3 now?
Does one hold up?
Not
It's not.
one is
I'm hope-
shit. Actually, when I
What?
was
The
watching
first one is
Matrix,
shit?
no,
He's kidding.
that was a joke.
Okay.
These
when
are
I-
the jokes.
Keep
when,
up.
when I started watching Reloaded,
Sorry, I'm so slow.
I was like, oh, I remember all these scenes from Reloaded, and they were actually the scenes I were remembering were from Revolutions. And apparently I didn't remember anything about Reloaded. And I remember thinking, like, The Matrix is awesome. Animatrix, it's very interesting. Reloaded is This is fun. Revolutions is
That
like,
guy's got a sword.
yeah, like Revolution's like, I have to like this because of battle mechs.
Neo's back. Yay.
And
Morpheus.
But I mean,
woo.
on the whole, I think I think they were. I don't think they were as bad as people were saying.
No,
they
no.
were originally.
They're
but
cool.
they're fun movies. It's just a little long, and there was like I think they went a little too heavy on philosophical stuff,
and on CG.
And on CG, and like when the Oracle is like they made up, they're like, oh, she, because the original lady died. Yeah, she did this stupid explanation. She's like, this is why I look different. I made a choice, and it's like,
what?
It doesn't mean anything. Like you could have just brushed it over and not acknowledged it.
We're in a world where there are computer programs. You can come up with all kinds of. There's a fucking pie that gives you orgasms.
That's right.
Come on.
That's the Matrix movie I want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
Oh. Yep.
Did it again.
I love the Matrix.
So much.
Yeah. I always compare them to the Pirates of the Caribbean sequels, where like I have fun with them, but the things in those sequels aren't what I love about the first movie. Like
exactly.
There's things in the first movie that aren't present in the sequels that are the reason I like the first movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not the philosophy. It's not even necessarily the crazy camera movement stuff. It's the practical effects and sort of the badass idea of I'm in a computer. And when you're in a computer in the sequels, it's not cool. And when you're not in a computer in the sequels, it's not cool.
This is about the explanation that you're giving makes as much sense as the actual speech that the architect gives in the Matrix.
The architect scene is my favorite scene in the
Why?
Because that I actually think is interesting. Like then
You're wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the part where I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like you.
No.
It wasn't that bad.
It's the one thing.
Systemically anomaly.
It's the one thing that suddenly takes.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand what he was talking about.
It's like.
I know what he was talking about, but the dialogue that he's delivering is so weird. Like the word choice is really weird.
It's like if a train jumped the tracks and then magically landed on tracks that were going to put it back on the rails.
Okay.
Like that's what that scene does. Is that like you're in the middle of a train that is clearly going to be derailed, and then there's this exposition scene that comes in and is like, okay. All right, we're going to get this back on track. Like, here we go. And they explain to you what's supposed to be going on. And then, of course, they go on to make a sequel where everything just fucking explodes.
Well, yeah, that's obvious, but like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I was fine with the suspension of disbelief. My problem was that it just, like I said, the word choice, the way the word choice was, like, it's a little like, okay, it's not even like weird, it's just boring.
Yeah,
I was more or less bored.
Oh, it's totally a boring scene.
Yeah,
like it would be the most mind-numbing sequence if not for the fact that there's like TVs in the background.
It looked like Keanu,
this asshole, punch him in the face. Like,
it looked like Keanu's brain was hurting. Like he looked like he was having like 10 seizures at once, and he was just so frozen that he couldn't like emote or act.
Yeah, well, it was because of his spinal fusion.
Sorry, I forgot about that. Right on. Cool.
Don't cross the streams.
Brian, what did you watch this week? Just what Matt Willicks watched?
No, it's.
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
I'm Brian now.
Zach's been smoking a lot, so
I don't know where my body.
Sorry.
Brad, what did you want to say?
Well, they mentioned they did like a 1984 marathon.
Yeah.
I was going to say we need to do a 1984 film explosion because holy shit.
I know. It's on our list.
Yeah, 84 was huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just going to look at the first 30 of them. Like I'm looking at the highest grossing movies of the year so far.
Orange soda. Sorry. Oh my God, there's Orange Crush in there.
Other things are going on.
Yeah.
Gotta have my Orange Crush.
But yeah, as fast as I can. Like these are all like pop culture classics. Like Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters.
Wait, you
Temple
just started
of Doom.
with the movie you just said was bad.
What?
You started with
because it's the highest grossing one
this
of
is
84.
Beverly Hills Cops. Which shit, but
Sorry, continue.
Gremlins, The Karate Kid, Police Academy, Footloose, Romancing the Stone, Star Trek 3, Splash, Purple Rain, Amadeus, The Natural, Revenge of the Nerds, Red Dawn, The Terminator, Friday the 13th, Conan the Destroyer, Dune.
Conan the Destroyer.
Fuck Dune. Oh my god.
A Nightmare on Elm Street.
We did watch Terminator. We watched Terminator.
16 Candles.
Have you not seen Terminator?
Ladies.
The Neverending Story, Johnny Dangerously. Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo was that year.
Yes.
Supergirl.
Supergirl?
There's
Really?
like
That's on there?
5 breakdancing movies. That
Yeah,
year,
there's a
too.
lot of breakdancing
Breaking
movies
2,
on here.
Electric
yeah.
Like
Break-
and they both Breaking and Breaking 2 came out in the same year.
Step Up to the Streets?
Streets of Fire, I saw that at the Alamo this year. Ninja 3,
yeah.
The Domination. That's not a classic, but there's a movie called 1984 that came out in 1984.
Oh, guess what it's about?
1984.
Have you seen the trailer? It's like the movie about the book
Yeah.
about the year 1984.
It's so bad.
Firestarter. The Night of the Comet
Baltimore.
was one of those that Ryan got. Was the Scream Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was talking about that. Yeah, Top Secret.
Oh.
Yeah, just tons of stuff on here.
I don't know
Anyway.
why after that whole list you said Top Secret and I went, oh.
You know something we don't know.
Fuck.
Wait, so
Oh shit, I forgot
Did-
about Top Secret.
Did we mention Buckaroo Banzai? Did we?
Oh, was that that?
it might be under like the.
It probably
this is the
isn't
first
one of
100,
them. Yeah.
so
Oh,
it
okay.
might be on the next.
That was the first one. I hadn't seen that movie yet.
I want to see
That was
Hot
one.
Dog the movie. That's
Hot Dog the movie.
that's a title in here. And it,
You had hamburgers.
yeah. And a movie called
You
Weekend
had
Pass that I've
tacos.
never heard of made more money than it.
I believe Weekend Pass is an Owen Wilson movie from 2008.
That's Hall Pass.
Oh, okay.
So wait. So there's Breakin' came out this year, and also Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, they came out in the same year.
Wow.
They were so confident.
Was one just like
It was
the
like-
deleted scenes?
No, it was like Back to the Future 2 and 2.
Yeah.
It's the only time that a first movie, while making it, they were like, this is going to be so amazing. We have to make a sequel.
I think
right
the producers
away.
are like, this is hitting. This people like this. We need to get this out before next year hits.
now. Damn you, cut
Yeah.
faster.
It's pretty cool.
I can imagine that editor just being in like, what the fuck am I doing?
Oh, they might
This
have
is-
shot so much they just made a second movie.
That's true. Ooh. You know, this was a big epic in the making. You have no idea.
It's like Ben-Hur, but they cut it in half.
Exactly.
It's the Ben-Hur of street dancing. Next year, Timur Bekmambetov is remaking Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That would be amazing.
All right, where were we?
Brian,
Oh, yeah.
What did you watch this week?
This week I've been watching Hannibal season 2,
Oh,
and
fuck, yeah.
I've been loving it. I've been waiting for this
Is it as dark as everybody
Blu-ray
says
to come
it
out.
is?
Oh yeah, and like it's
Coming from you, that's a...
well, the episodes are. Yeah, I've just finished the first disc this week, and they're full of like producer cuts. So it's like I can't believe the shit that they get away with.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's like it's amazing, and the writing's even better this season. So like,
Do you think
I
they
love
show the
it.
producers' cuts just to show like how much they can like actually get away with to like make it even?
I mean,
more
it still fits what the story's going for, and
It's just more graphic.
absolutely,
Yes.
yeah. I'm impressed with what they accomplished in that show. So I'm
Yeah.
loving it. And Penny Dreadful. I've been finishing that one too. So
Right
Very
on.
cool. What is Penny Dreadful? I've never watched it.
It's a Showtime series.
yeah. It's a mashup of the literary monster classics like Dracula, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and a slew of others. Van Helsing even makes an appearance in it. It's done really well. Where I think it's true to to that classic literature. The dialogue's very good.
Cool.
And there's some action sequences that are interesting because it just felt like they weren't happy with the edit. So they're like, yeah, let's put both in here. So it's really interesting.
Huh.
And like
Plus Ava Green love scenes.
Ava Green love scenes. There's that. Oh my God. There's a.
Wait.
Did you see Sin City 2?
She doesn't
No,
get.
there's been a
she doesn't
lot of
get
Ava
naked
Green.
in it, does she? Because
I don't think so. I don't
I've seen
recall that.
so much of that this year.
Yeah, it's like no, but that wasn't what I was going to comment.
It's like Gwyneth Paltrow in 1994. Like, I'm just,
Listen, people, I'm hot. Just keep getting naked till you two
I get it.
acknowledge
I get it. You still have
Admit
breasts.
Those are great. Okay, come on, let's get on with the story.
Yeah.
No,
Put
but
those away.
Look at him.
Distracting.
put those dirty pillows away. We got vampires to get to. Come on. No, like she does this scene where she becomes possessed, and it's a table reading, and I won't really spoil it, but it freaked the shit out of me. Like she did so good. I don't know if they did a little bit of CG touch on her eyes, but it just felt unworldly.
Because you were watching her breasts.
That could have been. It's like I'm not watching her
I don't
breasts.
know. I don't
I'm
know
watching
what
her
CG
eyes.
they're doing in this scene.
You know what? I like it.
She's freaking me out.
She's freaking me out, but I like it.
Dirty bags. So, but I definitely recommend both shows.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Right
Very
on.
cool.
Cool. James, what did you watch this week?
So actually, I'm going to skip back like 3 weeks because I keep forgetting to talk about.
All right, throw into
the
way
last
back.
the last week that Ryan was on the show, I don't remember if it was him or no, it was him. He talked about Batman: Assault on Arkham, which he lent to me, and I finally got around to watching it. And that thing is awesome. It's a really cool little. I want Marvel to make animated features as great as that one is. Honestly, I want DC to make live action features as good as that thing is. Because part of it is they just embrace the fact that it's like kind of fun and quirky and make a movie that is allowed to be that. Like those are the characters as we know them from like the cartoon show or the game. Because he's very heavily steeped in the Arkham Asylum like lore from the video games. I mean, and it's just really cool. Like it is true that Batman doesn't show up as much as I would like him to early on, but when he does later on, it's pretty badass. It's a really cool version of Batman. And then Troy Baker's voice for the Joker is really great. He's less cartoonish than Mark Hamill, but he's definitely like trying to channel Mark Hamill in a lot of ways. Like he sounds that way, and his laugh is in that same kind of vein, but it's a bit more not menacing, but like cruel almost. Like it's a deeper voice, and I really liked it. Like if Troy Baker becomes the voice of Joker for a little while, now that Mark Hamill kind of wants to give it up, I think that would be good. I liked him a whole lot more than Michael Emerson in what did Michael Emerson do him for? Dark Knight Returns. That's right. I like this voice a whole lot better. So it was great. Yeah, Matt.
Oh, I was just going to say we saw a screening of Assault on Arkham at Comic-Con. And who did the voice of Joker in Under the Red Hood?
Oh, John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio.
Oh,
John
yeah.
DiMaggio and
He
Troy.
does it again?
No.
No.
But John
No.
DiMaggio
But he
did a
was-
voice for Assault on Arkham, and he and Troy did a Joker laugh off.
Oh,
on
yeah?
stage, and it was pretty fucking incredible.
It really was.
awesome.
Yeah, I was just like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, he does. It's not Killer Croc. It's a shark.
Jaw.
God.
Or no.
Yeah.
Gosh, dang it.
Damn. It's exactly like Killer Croc, only it's a shark.
Right.
Sort
Yeah.
of. I think. Which was an interesting character. It's like some of the ones that they add in are like Captain Boomerang. Like sounds really lame, but it actually kind of works into the
Yeah,
story, and
I
like
thought
what
so.
those guys do are pretty cool.
Yeah, the blue-collar villains in DC are awesome,
Yeah. Yeah.
despite having really lame
Names. Yeah. So I also got a chance to finish up The Battery, which actually ended a couple weeks ago, but I watched it with my roommate, and we just hadn't gotten around to watching it. Or sorry, not The Battery. The Leftovers. Sorry. I'm going to talk about The Battery in a second. Spoilers for later in my segment. So I got a chance to finish The Leftovers. And man, that show is fairly depressing a lot of the times, because for being about like, some sort of magical happenings and being sort of fantastic, like it's really just about sad people and about the way that people carry guilt around all the time. And that's kind of depressing to watch, and the way that they sort of linger on that idea, and some of the characters in that movie that or in that show that are deliberately like trying to force people to sit and stew in their own guilt is just horrible to watch. But the story overall, I love those characters, and I'm very interested in that show and where they go with it in another season. It was really cool, and I was relatively moved by some of the things that happened in that last episode. I think it's really well written and is worth watching just for the scripts. So that's really great. And then the last thing was that last week The Battery came out on Blu-ray, and if you don't know what The Battery is a movie that we got to see a couple years ago at the Telluride Horror Show. It's a zombie movie. Like, it takes place in a zombie world, but it's really about two guys just sort of wandering around trying to survive, and they're sort of friends, and it's really about like their friendship and the way that certain aspects of living in a zombie world are straining their friendship. And it's fantastic. Yeah, they made it for $6,000, and there are two things. One, the Blu-ray is absolutely worth picking up and is really great.
Where'd you get it?
The transfer is gorgeous. I got it on Amazon.
Damn it.
Why?
I tried to pick it up in stores, and
is it hard to find?
Well, they said it was either at Walmart or an FYE, which we don't have an FYE.
There's one in Fort Collins, but yeah.
I think Tradesmart might be an FYE, but I haven't
really?
been there yet.
Oh, okay. And Walmart didn't have any?
Walmart had the DVD, not the Blu-ray.
Oh, fuck, that's worthless.
Yeah. So, totally.
Might as well just
the show's all about trash and DVD today.
You might as well just break
We're
that
talk
thing
about
in half.
Laserdiscs next week.
It's really awesome. Yeah. Just get it on Amazon and let it ship because it's great.
It has a sweet poster too. Like,
oh yeah. And it's a Shout Factory. So like the cover is unfortunately like a very the one it comes with, the stock cover, is like a very horror film kind of poster. But of course, the first thing I did before I even watched it was I flipped it around to the original poster that is just awesome. Like, it's this painted almost like Drew Struzan style poster of just these two dudes standing in a field. Like, you would never, like, you glance at it, you would never know it was a zombie movie until you turn it over and there's like zombies and guys stuck in cars.
Is that the poster that was up all over the Alamo?
No. It wasn't at the Alamo.
No. They had posters for it though.
Did they?
They had like little screenshots of it, like the digital poster that they have on the outside.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah,
I didn't notice.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Battery yet, but I've heard good things, and I've seen your guys' interviews and stuff. So
it's awesome. And the documentary they have on there about the making of is really pretty fascinating. And it's kind of cool in retrospective to like go back and this is not me plugging our own show, but like to go back and listen to their interview or to just remember the way that they talked at the time after making it, and then like the things that they admit and they talk about now in this making of were really pretty interesting, because there were things that like I think back now and I'm like, oh, they were totally being kind of cagey about that. Like they didn't want to admit that, even though I'm super impressed by like absolutely everything that they did on that movie, to the point to which I realized in watching it that I don't think I have felt this way about a little indie movie that could since probably Brick. And what I mean by that is that Brick was one of those movies that I wanted everyone I know to see that movie, so much so that I've bought it multiple times because I'll like lend it to people and not get it back, or lend it to people and they'll lend it to people and they'll lend it to people and then I don't get it back, and I'm fine with that. I just buy another copy. This movie will probably be like that. Because I don't really give a shit if I end up buying it 3 times, because I want everyone to have a chance to see this, because it's really great. I think at that year I wrote up an article and called it the best movie of that year nobody saw, and it totally is. It's a shame that it's taken 2 years for other people to get a chance to see it, but it's worth it. Take my word for it. Go on Amazon, buy this friggin' movie, and you will cherish it as much as I do, because it is amazing. So anyway, that's my weekly plug for The Battery. I'm sure I'll talk about it next week.
Cool. Excellent. And for Brick, there's going to be a screening at the Alamo.
In just a couple days.
Yep.
Yeah, on Sunday night. Brick and Brothers Bloom are at the Alamo. And then Monday night, Treasure of the Sierra Madre, which is already sold out. And it's the 35mm print that Rian Johnson owns, and he will be there to sort of talk about the movie. And then on Tuesday, also sold out, is Looper, with Rian Johnson doing a commentary over the movie. Which is amazing.
And we're going to be going to all 3 nights.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you have a chance to go see any of those, there are plenty of tickets still available for Brick and Brothers Bloom, which is a god-awful shame if you've never seen Brick.
Is Treasure Sierra Madre sold out?
Treasure Sierra Madre is sold out.
Ah, that's a shame. That's one that I would imagine people would want to go to,
yeah.
And especially with no 35mm prints being shown of movies like that.
Yeah.
that's something to watch.
For sure. But if you've never seen Brick, go to the Alamo. Pay, even if you don't have time to see both movies, pay the $15 for the double feature and go see Brick, and then like take off or whatever, or stay and watch Brothers Bloom, which is just as good. But those movies are really special.
Cool.
So cool.
Right on. And what did I watch this week? I actually, in preparation for what I thought our movie this week was gonna be, before I realized, oh yeah, you figured this out. Well, we'll get to that later on in the show. I don't want to spoil it, but like it matters. So I watched a bunch of Universal monster movies. Yeah, that's right. Get in there, Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman,
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Creature of the Black Lagoon,
Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera.
Oh.
Oh,
I was with you till you got to that one.
Oh, the Lon Chaney senior performance to top all others, my friend. I dare you to challenge me on that.
Yeah.
Unless he's playing the Hunchback, or if he was in the Unholy Three, which is awesome. I love Lon Chaney Sr. Anyway, I actually watched a movie with not Lon Chaney Jr., but Claude Rains, The Invisible Man. 1933, directed by James Whale. That film is so fucking hilarious. Like, it's just like, it's fun to watch that film from the black comedy prism that James Whale had back in the day, where he was really just making tongue-in-cheek horror movies. There's an actress in the movie named Una O'Connor. No, it's Una Merkel. No, Una O'Connor, I believe. And she's like a mainstay in James Whale's productions, and she just over the top acts like a frigidy old maid, like one of those like, oh no, there's the crust here, oh no. And it's so funny to watch all these over-the-top, accentuated, campy moments in this horror movie. Like, when the door slams shut and the tray falls, it's just a tray falling. It's nothing violent happened to her. She just goes, ah! Just starts, like, screaming and jumping around the place. It's fucking hilarious. And then Claude Rains' whole performance where he's just like, nobody will see him come, nobody will see him go. He can hear every secret. He can rob and rape and pillage and plunder. It's just so fucked up. And he's just like, just watching the special effects and the way they did the special effects, which is amazing, is they did a multi-layer film process involving black screen and whatnot. And basically, like, just watching that felt more real to me than any CGI I ever watch. That feels more real to me. Yeah. That feels just like what I would be seeing if somebody were invisible. But then again, like, I have a
you
weird
wouldn't be seeing anything if somebody was
invisible. Yeah, I was getting to that.
The way you're describing
faster.
this movie sounds like it's the inspiration for a Nickelodeon show I used to watch as a kid called Count Duckula.
Count Duckula? What is that?
Just look it up.
Okay.
It might be inspiration.
Okay, right on.
Ketchup drinking.
It may be Ducky. Ducky. And then I watched Frankenstein, James Whale again. I really like, especially with tonight's movie, I honestly can tell you right now, I finally understand why people found that monster scary back in the day. Because it's just like, I get it. Like, for not maybe necessarily for me, but like for somebody else who's not initiated with films and whatnot, or like a kid, especially a kid, you could see that scaring somebody. And I've had to reacquaint myself with my love of those old horror movies and what made me freaked out by them in the first place. Which leads me to the one I thought was the scariest when I was younger, which is Dracula.
Let me hear you call Boris Karloff a cocksucker.
Karloff does not deserve to smell my shit. That limey cocksucker can burn in hell for all I care. I love Ed Wood. I wish I watched Sidekick. Fuck you.
Anyway, Dracula.
You throw me that whiskey. I turned down Frankenstein.
Let's shoot this motherfucker.
Yes. Dracula with Bela Lugosi who was literally born to play that role. Like, there's no fucking, like, there's nobody can...
You must be double jointed,
and
you must be Hungarian.
Dracula, though, was directed by Todd Browning and not Tim Burton. Todd Browning has this really interesting vision about him where he tends to, like, he just centers around freakish creatures or freakish things. If you even watch his silent films, he's very attracted to amputees and or creatures of the night or something terror and unholy. He did the lost Lon Chaney Sr. vampire movie London After Midnight.
Oh wow.
The one that you can only see the pictograms of. And to watch him, this is literally right before he does Freaks and then ruins his entire career because Freaks was a flop when it came out. But Dracula just shows him at his height of elegance. Like it's literally that, like, it's the classiest picture he ever made in his career, by my stretch. Like, and it's only 70-minute movie, so it's not like a grand epic of any kind. But I definitely think it's like one of the top tier horror movies. It definitely doesn't like have the same effect on me it did back in the day. But the special effects that were in it, I think, are surprisingly like charming and just like very like soulful, and like it's just something like really quirky about it. And I really like watching it still to this day. And the only other thing that I watched this week was, I went through a bunch of stuff. I finally started watching Comic Book Men Season 3. And I liked watching Nichelle Nichols trying to purchase her own doll. That was pretty fucking funny. I also watched The Dark Knight Rises again for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
I still love that movie, and I love that I can finally understand what Bane's saying now.
I know. Yeah, because I just watched it a couple of weeks ago or a month ago. I hadn't seen it since theaters, and I finally got around to watching it, and like that whole first sequence is actually way cooler when I can hear what he's saying. Because in the theaters, it was just so muddied that I couldn't understand what the hell he was talking about. No! I believe the Bane's plan is to make the fireworks. Yeah.
And then he gets into a fight with Kenny McCormick.
But it sounds really cool on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
That movie's great.
Yeah.
That movie's great.
I liked it. It's a solid little comic book epic film. It's definitely not...
It's a solid little epic.
Yeah. It's definitely not on par with The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight had a truck that flipped over.
Yeah. So did X-Men 3.
Yeah, but that truck was real. Like, the practical effects on that one. Like, those were the visual
In X-Men
effects.
3 it was real?
No. In Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah.
You know that truck flipping? That's an actual stunt. That's an actual effect.
Yeah.
No, on X-Men, that was not real.
That's not what's wrong with X-Men 3.
There's no train that there's no truck that holds mutants, Willis.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
But the bridge was real. Let's move on.
Oh yeah.
San Francisco Bridge, never forget.
Just like Chicago.
Cool.
Oh God.
Well, Zach, before we get into the review, do our guests have anything to plug?
Do you have anything to plug, guys?
Search. If you type in "Hand of the Father," can you find your trailer?
I mean, yeah, you can,
Okay.
but I mean, it's...
Yeah, my zombie movie is on Vimeo. It's called Dream Come True. Look for that one. It's just a shitty student short. Brian did these trailers for a movie we're writing right now called Hand of the Father. Kansas horror.
Kansas horror.
Yeah, it was just something I did. Now we're wanting to actually make it into a feature and something I'm really looking forward to. So, it's on my Vimeo account. So,
yeah.
So you want
good
to
luck.
Go for it.
Good luck searching
Right.
Vimeo.
How do we help? Are you guys like... how are you guys going about trying to get it made?
Right now, we're just we're working on the script. I don't know.
So encouragement. It's really just letters of encouragement
At this point.
Yeah,
okay,
like
cool.
we have
Well,
crew. We have crew sort of lined up. People want to work on it. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been really interested in it after seeing the trailers. So it's been really exciting. It's just really getting a draft that we're all really happy and proud of. So, but we'll keep you guys up to date.
Very cool. Very cool.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. This week we saw Tusk. All right, gentlemen, we've created a new review scale for this Walrus picture. You're going to give your review without spoilers, but before you do, you have to say Walrus yes, Walrus no, or Walrus maybe.
Okay.
Okay. Brian, should people go see Tusk?
Ooh, people in general. I mean, if you know, I can't even say if you knew Kevin Smith, because this was different. But just shooting into it from my perspective, I'm going to say Walrus, yes. And you want me to go into it?
Yeah, go into it a little bit.
Well, of course, no spoilers. No spoilers. Like, what surprised me is like how much I laughed during that movie, and like. It's a bizarre picture. If you know the concept of it, this brief synopsis, of course you're gonna know it's gonna be ridiculous. But I thought the actors did a great job, and there were even times where what is happening? Like I don't even know if the actors knew. But it was great. I mean, I'm still gonna have to process it. But process it. There we go. But yeah,
process it.
So. Walrus, yes, for me.
Matt Willix, what did you think of Tusk?
So you want to recommend? Should people see it? Is that?
Yeah, should people see it?
I would say Walrus, yes, but I don't like. I would like. I'm just thinking about like certain friends of mine who are Kevin Smith fans, but they're not horror fans at all.
But do you need to be?
What's that?
Do you need to be?
You don't need to be a Kevin Smith fan.
No, do you need to be a horror fan?
Oh, I don't think so. I think there was
there
lots of
fan?
Laughing. Yeah. There were lots of parts where I was cracking up at. You know what I mean? So I mean, I would call this a horror comedy, which is really easy for people to jump into. Like Shaun of the Dead or Tucker and Dale. But so I would say Walrus, yes, absolutely. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
okay.
Good.
All right.
Brad,
I did
you
think
look so sick.
I did think Johnny Depp was Val Kilmer for like 2 or 3 seconds before I was like, oh, that's Johnny Depp.
Well, that was a spoiler, but Brad.
I'm gonna go with the Walrus maybe, because it's so weird, and I don't know if it has an identity crisis and has different tones throughout the movie. Like I was laughing at some parts, and other parts I was kind of just not interested in what people were talking about at all. And every time Michael Parks is on screen, he's like the only character in the movie I really thought really was a real character in the movie. I think everyone else was. It seemed like they were playing a part. So yeah, but we'll talk about more of that later. So Walrus maybe.
Okay.
I saw the audience for this isn't like a defined audience.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell anyone yes or no. You should see it. Is this something you have to experience for yourself, I guess, and make your own conclusions?
Right. James, should people go see Tusk?
So I'm definitely a Walrus maybe. I enjoyed the movie. I think that Michael Parks' performance is phenomenal. And I would even go so far as to say that when it comes to playing characters who are crazy, it is on par with perhaps even an Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs. Like it's fucking good. Michael Parks is amazing in this movie. There's also a scene that I'll talk about later that is one of my favorite scenes from this year. There's a monologue. It's like a single shot close up monologue that I just was amazed by. Like that actress is fantastic.
Genesis Rodriguez.
I think that the problem with this movie is that like maybe my expectations were too high, because I think that Red State is Kevin Smith's masterpiece, and that coming off of that, I was hoping that this was going to transcend being just a farce, and I feel like this is still just a farce. Like this is to me ends up just still being an inside joke, and it's too bad that that's all it ends up being. It's really fun, and I really enjoyed it, but yeah, there's a lot of people who are not going to really get this. And I think it's a little bit too married to the original material.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm WalrusYes, and I'll say this: like, I'm a fan of the Smodcast universe and that Kevin Smith fandom kind of thing. Like, I've been a fan for years, and there were so many references to episodes of Smodcast, which is just a podcast about two people talking.
Yeah.
There are so many references that I just got instinctively, and there's so many jokes going on there that I forgot why I was there, which was to watch a walrus monster movie kind of thing. And when the walrus finally came out, I finally got it. I finally understood what he was going for, because I thought I didn't understand where the walrus was going to go until I saw it with my own eyes. But I will say this is one of my favorite movies of the year. Absolutely. It is Lynchian to me in a lot of areas, and like just very bizarre and very outwardly bizarre, and its use of practical effects is incredible. I think it's incredible personally. Some people on sites like Screen Collider have been like, fuck, it looks cheesy and shit. Fuck them. This looked like exactly like it needed to look.
I think it's okay. I think that was on purpose too.
Yeah, exactly.
To look a little cheesy.
Yeah, exactly. To kind of like let people in on the fact that it's a podcasting joke. So, and I think that out of all of this, Michael Parks' performance is genius. It's absolutely perfect. Mad, crazy scientist / butcher, whatever you want to call him, just absolutely insane fucko that it's impossible to watch it and not be mesmerized. And like, even though you don't want to look in certain scenes near the first half of the movie, you're just watching his performance, and it's forcing you to watch anything terrifying on screen, and that's really powerful. And Justin Long, I think, gives a really brave performance, because the temperance and the patience it must have taken to wear what he wears in that movie has got to be laboring and intensive, and I give him all the props in the world. And #Gila Point, yes. So we're going to roll the trailer for Tusk, a story based out of a podcast.
Always do sober what you do drunk. That'll teach you to keep your mouth shut.
Hemingway said that.
Yes, he did. And he said it to me.
I don't want you to go to Canada tomorrow.
It's for the podcast. It's what I do. I travel around and I interview weird or interesting people.
So look out, you crazy Canucks! Wandering Wallace takes a raunchy road trip up to the Great White North.
Hello. I'm an old man who has enjoyed a long and storied life at sea. And after eons of oceanic adventure, I know I do not wish to spend my remaining years alone when I have such stories to share.
How far is Bifrost from here?
It's about 2 hours from here.
It's about 2 hours away.
I hate American guys.
Good evening.
It's nice to meet you.
Could I interest you in some tea?
So what happened after the boat sank?
I was alone, and then something very swift and frightening moved by me.
A walrus saved your life?
The walrus is far more evolved than any man I've heard of. Present company included.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you? Would you?
There. It'll be all right, Mr. Tusk.
He hasn't called me in 3 days. I'm worried.
Why are you doing this? Are you really mourning your humanity? I don't understand. Who in the hell would want to be human?
This guy wants to turn me into an animal or something. I don't want to die in Canada.
Okay, so
I'm with you on the inside joke thing. Like,
yeah.
As much as I appreciate the podcast, I would have wished that they transcended the podcast.
And it gets so fucking close. Like, there's this moment. So the scene I was talking about is when the girlfriend is sitting on the bed and she's, pouring out her heart and talking about the fact that, like, she really hates this guy. She hates Wallace. To the point at which she says she is glad her father is dead so that he doesn't see that his daughter is wasting her life with this guy. And I was like, fuck, like, this is heavy. Like, this is an amazing, like, this is how this movie is going to transcend the joke about, well, this is a movie where a guy gets turned into a walrus, right? Like, this is how you marry that story and the craziness of Michael Parks and that whole performance. That is going to be our heart. Is this guy is really a piece of shit and probably deserves to get turned into a fucking walrus and live the rest of his life as a walrus. And then we see the walrus, and it's campy as shit. And then he goes so off the rails in being, like, he films these scenes, like, with Guy Lapointe and Michael Parks on the porch, that are just so silly and go on for so long that he swings this movie that, Red State is amazing because he never lets you be comfortable. He breaks all of the rules. He changes the tone of that movie back and forth, and he's riding that movie like along the blade of a knife. And you're never, like, if he goes way too far one way or the other, the movie breaks. But he's always perfect. And this movie is trying to do the same thing, but after that scene, like, once you start seeing all that stuff and he starts going too funny, he goes way the other way. Michael Parks stops being super scary and crazy and just starts being another funny, silly thing, and it loses track of that thing that I loved in that scene where I was like, fuck, like, you took something human and emotional and heavy and slammed it into a movie where a guy gets turned into a walrus, and you were going to do something amazing here. And then it's like, and I say all that like I'm mad, but I'm not, because the scene on the fucking porch between Michael Parks and Johnny Depp is maybe my favorite comedy scene in the movie. Like, that part of Michael Parks' performance is...
Oh my god, it's so...
Is he doing the McDonald's Fry Girl?
Right?
He sounds like, you like fries with it!
Like, he's unbelievable in this movie, and that scene is part of it. So it's hard for me to, like, judge one way or the other. But if I go back to the thing that Kevin Smith told me about Red State, which was that as amazing as the 7-minute long Michael Parks performance was in the original cut, he edited it down because it hurt the film overall. I feel like the comedy ends up, in the end of this movie, ends up hurting the film overall.
I don't know. And then here's why.
Okay.
Like, it's... How do you explain this movie? It's
I don't know.
It's kind of like trying to explain a divorce. You know what this film is? It's a weird comedy thriller. It's not a horror comedy. It's a comedy thriller. Because at the end of the day, when you look at that walrus suit, that's what makes sense to me about it. It's literally a walrus suit. He didn't lie when he did that podcast, and that's what my expectation was built on. Was like, okay, he did a podcast about this Gumtree ad, and then he made it into this horror movie, and they talked about a walrus suit. He says suit. He never says human walrus. And I kept thinking he's going to go human walrus. He doesn't. He goes walrus suit. The walrus suit makes sense, and I love how it makes sense. Now, is the effect there? I think it is. I think there is. I think there's enough close-up shots and not a lot of time with it on screen that you can believe that it's made of all that human skin. And if you notice, the flippers are all like fingers and shit. Like, you look at the small details of that costume, it works for me. Like, it looks just like, oh, Michael Parks is just an insane, lonely man. He's a very insane, lonely man who has no companionship whatsoever because he ate his only friend. And you can look at that from a comedy lens because of a lot of the laughs that are in it because of the fact that it is the suit that it is, or you can look at it from the perspective that I'm looking at it. But either way, you can still find the humor in it. That's where I find the strength of this movie is that it's not. You don't know how you're going to feel coming out of it because you, on the one hand, you think, "Wow, this actually exists." On the other hand, you're thinking, "Oh, well, that suit didn't look convincing. I feel like I've been lied to." Or you just need to, warm up to the fact that sometimes ridiculous movies get made, and this is one that can get made. And I applaud it 100%.
I'm sitting here thinking it's entirely possible that we've been trained to absorb a certain type of structure in things in movies, and maybe since this is the first movie that's based on a podcast, maybe there's
it's a new genre. It's the birth of. It's not the birth of a new genre because there's absurdism films.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's the Pierre LeFou films, or anything that breaks the fourth wall, like Woody Allen, stuff like that, and that wackiness has been done before, but it hasn't been done recently.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's easing it in, but at the same time, it is the birth of a new genre where it's it's based off. This is a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is based around a conversation,
based off of brainstorming.
Yeah, exactly.
Without any editing.
I don't know that that's.
So while it feels weird, it may just be that's what it needs to be, artistically.
I will take that as forgiveness for the fact that I don't like the ending. I just
you didn't like the ending?
Yeah, that last scene to me doesn't ring true. I don't, because everything that they told me up to that point, the fact that a year later, the fact that a year later, those, I don't think the friend should be there. I think he should just be alone in a hut, and that the reality is that those, because of the guy that guy was, as horrific as that whole sequence is, that those friends probably go home and try to build a different life and forget about him.
And it seems like
to me, that's the ending I would have wanted. But they even you missed it because you ran out. But at the end of the credits, they air that last sequence from the podcast where they're talking about the third act, and he describes to you what you just saw.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, cool.
That's the whole point. He's trying to present to you at the end of this movie. Okay, here's where this is how this all got started,
and that's all fine and good. But if you tell me that the reason that this movie is not as good as it could have been was because you wrote it while high on a whim on a podcast, and you weren't willing to re-edit it for the truth of the film you ended up writing, that's not a good excuse to me. And he obviously would disagree and say that's the ending that I wanted, or he'll say tonally I thought it was funnier and that's the thing I wanted to see in the movie. That's fine. I'm just saying that for me it didn't work,
right?
And that saying that it's based on a podcast, that I'll forgive that last sequence for that, but that doesn't make.
I understand where you're coming from, but I kind of see where he's coming from in this, where it's it's the idea that you can go anywhere again. It's one of those ideas again that you can go anywhere with a movie, and you can suspend your disbelief for an hour and a half.
I feel like the stuff,
and I might be defending it a little too much, but I really liked it.
I feel like the stuff, the really good stuff, like the scene with the girl in the bed. I think that's. I feel like that's just a bonus. He's writing this movie that was based off of a podcast, and they're constantly laughing, while they're talking about the story, and he's just like, oh, what if I stuck that in there? You know what I mean? It's almost like while he's putting this idea down on paper, he's ideas are popping in his head, and it just, I don't think the movie was brought down by the fact that there might have been too much comedy, because it is a guy in a walrus suit.
This is true.
Born out of just them thinking this is a funny idea.
Yeah.
So I think and that scene is brilliant. It was just great.
No, you're right. At a certain point, I am asking a movie about a guy in a walrus suit to transcend being.
I want you to grip me.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it.
Oh my God.
Why aren't you up in the air with a man in a walrus suit?
The most hilarious part for me was watching Michael Parks don his own suit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
And it's not as extreme as poor Justin Long, but it's just like seeing this
Yeah.
like serious actor like who gave this knockout performance.
Yeah,
Of,
and then he just dresses up in that walrus suit.
Yeah.
And then when he tears it off, and when you see all that blood and whatnot on his on his chest and whatnot, that's when you're like, holy shit, the suit's real.
Yeah.
That's
for the argument of the story, and that was the hardest thing to sell it on because it is a practical effect suit. So at some points you're like, it does look a little rubbery.
Yeah. But I actually thought that his suit was more disturbing than Justin Long.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like if you had given Justin Long that suit and then like given him makeup to make it look like there were teeth installed in his face, that would have been really fucked up looking.
Yeah.
One thing I think this movie did well, which not a lot of movies can do, is I went from several parts where I went from just laughing my ass off to very disturbed and just creeped out. You know what I mean? Like when he's doing that sweeping shot in the walrus's cave, Mr. Tusk's cave, like you hear Justin Long moaning or whatever that noise he was making was, and then I saw the beach ball and I was like, I just started laughing.
Yeah.
And then when they revealed him, when they finally, because they did those sweeping close-up shots,
God, the
just
whole
showing
theater.
Yeah, when they showed the whole walrus and you saw Justin Long's new walrus face, I was immediately like, "Oh God, that is disturbing."
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's so fucked up.
Yeah, and Michael Parks did the same thing with his performance. Like you're laughing one minute, and the next minute I was just like, "That's fucking creepy."
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, the scene at the dining table. And when he does the wide shots through the you watch Michael Parks walk the table, that shot is just fucking awesome.
Walruses do not cry.
Man, it's...
And there's also that moment where it's revealed that he can stand, like he's not confined to the wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I think
which is almost subtly hinted at because he crosses his legs while he's in the wheelchair. Like in the first scene, like he just boop. And I was like, wait a second.
Right.
I think that's some shit that
this
should not be.
Right.
He said he was going to intentionally put some shit that should not be in there.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
that was it.
I think it was just foreshadowing, but
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't
walrus.
I think the walrus suit is shit that should not be.
Yeah, they. I'm surprised, like, in order to like diffuse the whole like rubberiness of the suit, they didn't put those shots in more shadows. Like it could have been a lot dimmer, but it was like full brightness in that room, showing like every inch of the suit.
Yeah, that felt a little like a weird choice, but
yeah, it was a weird choice. Like I would have made it darker so you couldn't see like a lot of the the fake details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, usually in horror movies when you see the whole monster, it's just not as scary anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Like
Well,
I think
he built it up over a longer period of time. Like the first two acts felt pretty like it developed
dark.
slowly. Yeah, dark, disturbing, deep, and then when it finally gets into the reveal, I think it actually goes into full blown madness at that point.
That's what I'm thinking is like he went
it's
for the
like
it was supposed
Madness.
to be comedic.
Yeah, like Madness, it breaks.
Yeah.
It just breaks and snaps reality. The one thing about this film that was a big geek well-to-do need to know what the fuck is going on was who was playing the part that was written for Quentin Tarantino initially, and it turned out to be Mr. Johnny Depp. What did everybody think of Guy Lapointe and his funny dick nose?
Yeah, he was. That character's good. That character's really fun.
That is a funny ass.
And like
character.
I said, that scene on the porch is great.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was like classic, like Clouseau-esque, like.
Yes, and that's the thing. He's like a weird Quebecan Columbo.
Yeah.
Which is.
I like the way he over-explains things.
Yeah, yeah.
And somebody...
Poutine gives him the shits. Yeah.
Gives me the sheets.
Please excuse my French. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So it's 1 year later, and I get the impression that his friends are only visiting him this 1 year later. And the house has been converted into a sanctuary. Who is feeding Wallace regularly and giving him big gulps?
Guy Lapointe.
Guy Lapointe.
Is it Guy?
Yeah, he said the Canadians were very optimistic. In the beginning, the customs officer. Remember?
Yeah.
So somebody
that would be so
Maybe
awesome. They should. That's how they should connect Tusk and Yoga Hosers.
Yeah.
Wasn't the customs guy the guy from Epic Mealtime?
Yep, Epic Mealtime. Haley Mortenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
I thought so.
And everybody's favorite K-Rock's Ralph Garman doing the most Canadian, like, Dan Aykroyd impression of all time. He is Canadian, but like it's even more Canadian.
It's kind of weird how, like, he does a lot of very stereotypical Canadian things that not every Canadian says a boot like that.
Yeah, it was definitely
Harley says a boot.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
so she was good.
Yeah,
and then the other girl is Johnny Depp's daughter.
Yep, Lily Rose Depp.
Yeah.
The
That
scene,
was fun.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
The scene I wanted to bring up, it was probably my favorite one, is when Justin Long finally wakes up and we have the reveal that his leg is gone. Like, he was so into that character. That's why it was so fucking hilarious, because, like, you couldn't help but laugh at this poor guy. Like, where's my leg? And Michael Parks is trying not to laugh. His character,
it's
a spider.
It's kind of cringing and funny at the same time. Like, you're kind of chill.
What was the doctor's name? Mousse?
Mogier.
Oh, yeah.
Mogier. It's supposed to be Mosier.
What's great about that scene is when he's like, I need my phone. Oh, the doctor stepped on it and broke into a bunch of pieces. And wow, can I use your phone? Oh, the doctor thought that we should unplug them all so you could rest. He's like, that's clearly insane.
That's why when he puts on his walrus suit, I'm not questioning anything.
Oh, no.
I'm like, at that point, that character can do whatever he wants. Like, he's clearly crazy.
Oh, yeah.
He's clearly crazy, especially when he slaps him and goes, "Walruses don't cry."
Yeah.
God, that
man.
movie is just my favorite scene. I have two favorite scenes. One is the scene not where he's revealed to be a walrus, but where it's revealed that he's being sewn up as a baby T-Rex, like with the baby T-Rex arms, and that monologue that Howard Howe gives suddenly it doesn't just explain the madness for the audience in an exposition. It also, to me, like, it explains who this character is to me, so I can take him seriously, so I can treat him like a serious character. And that was an important element for me in the movie. Was I want to laugh, but I also want to try to take this seriously, because I love that actor, and I have to imagine that it can be taken seriously, and I think it can. It's a dark, disturbed movie. That's why I say it's kind of Lynchian, because Lynch movies are kind of funny if you look at them a certain way. Like, Eraserhead can be hilarious to some people.
Because even that scene, like, you don't necessarily know what he's saying is true.
Yeah, exactly. You have no
but
idea.
But the fact that he's telling it gives you some insight into that character.
He's just a storyteller. He's a storyteller with a fucked up vision.
Yeah.
And it's so mesmerizing to watch that performance unfold. And then when he does do the put on the walrus suit, that's when I was like, that was equivalent to me of the Buffalo Bill scene where Buffalo Bill starts dancing to Goodbye Horses.
Mm-hmm.
That to me was on par, or at least like an homage to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we've known that Kevin Smith has had a fascination with that scene in the past.
Yeah.
So to like watch that performance is just incredible, and to watch the walrus fight. Who wants to talk about that amazing epic walrus fight?
Yeah.
Which is just a few shots, but it's so.
But it's
epic.
enough.
Yep. So.
Cool.
Go. All right. So what are we seeing next week?
I believe next week is the Box Trolls.
The Box Trolls, and
Yeah,
I
the
think
new
we're
movie
going to
about
be
Leica.
having on Matty O'Connor that week.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
We'll get him to go
Awesome.
see some Box Trolls with us.
Cool.
Guys,
Guys,
Matt Willix, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Ryan Richards, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Brad, thank you for not saying goodbye. Yeah.
yeah, fuck you too.
Fuck you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find them on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.